Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Ashley. Hi. First order of business, if you haven't already, like my last video, go comment, go watch it, go subscribe at Ashley RN Takeover. Again, that's Ashley RN Takeover. You can follow me on Instagram. It's _ Miss MISS _ ambitious. So now that we got that out of the way, we're gonna be talking about tonight. What are we talking about tonight? Night shift struggles as a nurse. That's what we're going to be talking about. Nursing night shift struggles. I put up a poll on my Instagram and you guys basically stated that you want to see or hear about like what I go through as a nurse, working nights, the struggles of it, how I cope, what tips I do to get through my shift, etc, etc, etc. So yeah, here we are. So I'm going to be talking about 7 struggles. Like there are like specifically 7 struggles that I can think of off the top of my head that I deal with on a regular basis. The first one, being the most obvious, is trying to stay awake during my shift. Like it's the most obvious, it's the most one, like common sense tells you. Staying awake during a night shift is hard. Like there's no getting around that. It's hard, it's difficult, it's not an easy task, and it's not something that you think you're going to get used to. A lot of people say, oh, I work with people, they're like, they've been there for years, they're vets, they've been there like 20 plus years, they're still banking it because they haven't hit 65 and it's not the age to retire. And even they tell me, hey, I've been doing this for X amount of years and I still haven't gotten used to it. I just do it because it's what I know. Like I do it because I already changed and revolved my life around working nights. And I'm like, wow, that can't be me. That's not gonna be me. I don't know. I haven't made that choice yet. I haven't made that decision. But it's rough, bruh. It's rough. Okay, like you get to work. For me, I get to work at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock p.m. I get off at 7:30 a.m. When I get off work, I sleep till like 6. Not even, no, that's a lie. I sleep till like 5. I sleep till like a solid 5, 5:30. Then I use those 30 minutes, I get dressed, I shower, and I go back to work. I know people who say, oh yeah, well, I get up at 7:30. It takes me like 30 minutes to get home. Then I eat something, I shower, I go to sleep for like a few hours, and I'm up by like 3. I'm up by like 3:30 the latest. And they do what they have to do, take care of their little errands, and then they go to work. I can't do that. I'm not one of those people who can take care of errands on a day that I'm working or a day that I just got off work. Like it's not feasible for me. It hasn't happened for me thus far, and I don't think it's ever going to happen for me. So I just take care of everything I need to do on my days off, which leads me to my second nursing struggle, your recuperation days. Like you think your day off is a day off, that's a lie, bro. That's a lie, sis. Like no, it's not happening for you. Your day off, you're spent sleeping. Like I come in at 7:30 a.m. Like I get off at 7:30 a.m. I work about 30-40 minutes away from where I live. So by the time I get in, it's like damn near almost 9 o'clock. So I go to sleep. Again, I don't wake up until like 5. So if you think about it, 9 to 5, that's a standard person's work shift, right? That's 8 hours. So I'm sleeping for my full 8 hours. I wake up around 5. If it was a rough shift, I'm not up until like 6:30. Gotta get them extra Z's in. And then I start doing what I have to do. Mind you, all of your businesses are closed. All of like regular businesses are closed at that time. If you need to go to a doctor's appointment, dentist appointment, things that I usually have to do, I can't do those on those days that I'm either working or the day that I'm spending recuperating. So which is why I plan my schedule this way. I planned it so that basically I can do my 3 days, then my 4th day I spend recuperating, and then those other 3 days are just to me and myself. Like I do what I need to do on those days. That's how I plan my schedule. If I'm picking up OT, I usually do my 5-day week straight. Like I don't like doing the 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 2 days. Like no, because it's not really a break for me. Because again, if I'm working my 2 days, right, I have 1 day off, that's my recuperation day. Then I have another day on. That to me, I feel like I basically work 4 days straight anyway. So I might as well be getting paid as if I work 4 days straight. So that's number 1. And number 2, my third what would I say, my third nighttime struggle will probably be maintaining a social life. Like I said, it's bruh. For all my friends who are watching this, I hope you guys are watching this video, because y'all don't get it. When I say I'm tired, I'm really tired. I'm physically, mentally, emotionally drained. I'm exhausted. Like, it's no joke. Like, I'm smiling, but it's really no joke. Like, I don't know. Like, some people choose this career, or you know, even if you're not a healthcare professional, let's just say it in general. Some people choose working nights because they have other obligations. Either they're in school, they're working, they have kids, all of these things. Like, I didn't have any of that. Like, my school was online, you know. I don't have children. Like, I don't have some, you know, super interesting, fantastic, wonderful, extenuating circumstance as to why I needed to work nights. Someone was like, be a night shift nurse. It's fun. It's less work. What? Where? When? Like, tell me where they work. Like, I should have found out where they worked so I could have gone and worked there. And even that, like, that's a lie. That is a lie. You can't. No. Don't do it. I did it for the differential. I'm going to be very honest with you. I said that I would save all my reasons for working night shift until the end of the video, but I feel the need to just say it. I did it for the money. I did it for the differential. When you work nights, there's something called the differential. A differential is basically a little extra coin on top of the coin that you're making. So let's say you're making X amount of dollars, you're going to get a few extra dollars on top of that. It's not going to be included into your salary. So when you look at your pay stub, you're going to see your regular rate, X amount of dollars, then they deduct the taxes, whatever. Then you're going to see another little line underneath it that says nighttime differential or evening differential. And then you get your other little coin and your little amount, and then taxes are taken out of that also. That's why I did it. I thought, hey, I'm young, I'm hungry, I'm a go-getter. You know, I used to think that, oh, I could, like, especially in the summertime, I used to be that person who stayed up until like 3 a.m. Watching TV or hanging out or doing whatever. And I was like, okay, well, if I can stay up till like 3:30 on a regular day where I'm not working and I'm just having fun, I can do it and get paid for it. Why not? It's only a few extra hours. It's only like 3 or 4 extra hours on top of that. That was the biggest mistake of my life, because when you're out having fun and working, I mean, it's common sense to some people, but at the time I didn't take this into consideration. I was like, oh, well, I could do it. It's gonna be late. Like, I could stay up. Like, it's no biggie. I've stayed up plenty of times all night having a good time, you know, hanging out with friends or whatever the case is. Hanging out with friends and working are two different things. Staying up watching movies and laughing and having kickbacks and all those things is different than working, slaving. And then not to mention, when you have those slow days, well, it's never a slow day or a slow night. Like, my days are nights now, so when I say day, I mean work day, and that's my work day is night, just in case you didn't get that. But it's never slow. Like, it's slow, but it's not slow, if that makes sense. Like, when I say it's slow, from like 2 a.m. to about 5 a.m. for me personally, the way I like split my shift and work, and the way like I allot time for certain things, it's considered my slow time, my downtime, which is not really downtime because anything can happen. Your patient could code, which happens a lot on nights for those day shift nurses who think that night shift is easier than day shift. It's not. But I'm going to go into that. I'm going to go into all of these things. Like, I'm going off on a tangent, but bear with me. But it's not slow. It's just slow in the terms of like time feels like it's moving slower than normal because you have less things. You probably finished your med pass, you probably finished your documentation, you checked on all your patients, you know, if you're lucky they're sleeping, chances are they're not, you know, you've given all of your sedatives, you know, you've labeled all your IV tubing, you've capped all of your IV, your hep blocks, you've done everything that you think you could possibly do in your shift, and now you're just trying to kill time. Like, that's from 2 to 5. And then I say 5 a.m., that's when you start your med pass again, do your documentation again, you do your patient teaching, you do whatever else you need to do that is required of you. But from 2 to 5, slow. meaning time moves slower. Another thing, as to a night shift struggle, I said like maintaining a social life, yeah, forget about it. Probably the fourth struggle, I think we're on number 4. Fourth struggle would possibly be, or not possibly, or probably, it is, it's a good thing and it's a struggle at the same time. Like, you have more autonomy. I'm one of those people, like, I've always been one of those people who work well. I do well independently. I like to consider myself a team player. I can't say I'm a nurse and not be good at team playing, but you have more autonomy at night. There are less people, there are less staff members, there is less support at night. Your doctors, your residents, your interns, your students, your dietary, your social work, none of that happens really at night. You might have your little 1 intern, your 2 attendings if you're lucky, and that's it. So when something goes down, you have to think for yourself. So like, you build up on your critical thinking, which is why they say like ER nurses and night shift nurses in general are usually better, or I shouldn't say better, they're just good at critical thinking and like thinking fast, acting on their feet, and resolving a problem without having to call a doctor. Me, I don't really like calling doctors to begin with, not because I'm scared of doctors or I don't feel the need, like, or I don't feel like I can talk to them, or whatever the case is, like that whole inferiority complex. I don't have that. I have no problem talking to a doctor and explaining a problem, saying my little S-bar, getting my order, or whatever it is that I need, and resolving the issue. However, I don't like calling doctors because, for the simple fact, I think that nursing is like 50% common sense. Some people might agree with me, some people might not agree with me, but I feel like what you learn in school is just like you're building on the foundation of common sense. If you see X is a problem, common sense would be Y. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's in my head, it goes like this. If X is a problem, common sense is Y, and then Z is everything you learned in nursing school to help resolve the issue. That's how it goes. X, Y, then Z. X is your common sense, X is the problem, Y is the common sense, and then Z is what you learned in school to help fix the problem. That's the best way I could explain it. It makes sense in my head. But yeah, like, long story short, at night you have less support, and when there's an issue, you can call your doctor, but they're gonna get mad at you. Or if I was a doctor or intern, I would get mad at you, because I'm like, you're really calling me because you held you held a sleeping medication. Like, you held the sedative because your patient was asleep. Thanks. I know I need to know that, because you need to write in your note that you held a medication. At least at my hospital, I'm sure this is a standard. Like, if you're holding a medication, you have to write a note on who you notified as to why you're holding a medication. Like, cool. Because that's exactly how I would look at you if I was a doctor. Like, you held it? Cool, you just woke me up from my nap in the call room to tell me that you're holding a medication. Great. And there are some nurses who are like that, and I've seen it happen. I'm just like, bruh, if I was your intern, or if I was your attending, if I was a resident, whoever, I would be pissed. Like, I've seen people call doctors for like simple things that they can fix on their own, and it's annoying. My thing is, the doctors make rounds, just like how nurses make rounds, doctors make rounds too. They make their rounds, they have their certain times. If you have a good rapport with your doctor, you know what time they're making rounds. Like, there are a few doctors I know, they make the rounds at like the starter shift, then mid shift, and then like one time right before med pass. Like, they'll be there around like 4:30, 5 o'clock, they're rolling in. Everything I have to tell you, I'll tell you right then and there. And I'm not the person who will call you every single time. I like to collectivify, cohesion, that collectiveness, or whatever the case is. It's like, if I had 3 different issues going on with 3 different patients, and you're the doctor covering those 3 different patients, I'm not going to call you on 3 separate occasions if these events happen at 3 different times. Depending on what time it happened, if it's not a life or death situation, or it's not something that is going to make or break the patient, make or break me, make or break you, okay, I will let you know upon morning rounds what I did for it, and then I'll write my note. And if you have good doctors or good interns or whatever, if you're a good nurse or whatever the case is, your doctors trust you, and they trust your judgment. Like, there's certain times where it's like, okay, doc, I already did this. I just need you to write an order to say that you ordered it, so that we could both agree that we came into this decision together. That's how it works. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, I don't know. I feel like I don't want to be that person who's telling anybody like what type of nurse they should be, what type of nurse they shouldn't be, how to do this, how to do that. That's just how I am. That's my personality. That's how I operate. Some people do respect it. Most doctors respect it. But then again, you have those doctors who don't respect it, and they tell you like, bruh, don't do this without my permission, or don't do this without this, or don't. And I'm like, okay, I understand, and I apologize, because at the end of the day, they are a doctor. And I am to be following doctor's orders, but at the same time, I have my own brain, and I'm going to do what I think needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's not jeopardizing my patient and putting anybody's life in danger, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? But there's some doctors who want to operate a certain way. You have to, again, know your doctor, build that rapport, build that relationship so that you know which doctors like what and which doctors like otherwise, and that's that. Anyway, back to the nighttime struggles. I don't know. There are a lot of struggles. There are a lot of struggles. I guess the next struggle for me personally is oncoming traffic. I know people don't really think about this, but like, seriously, take a second. When you leave in the morning, like if you're working a regular day shift, right? You're working 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You go in at, like if you leave around 6:30, whatever the case is. And you're hitting traffic, and like that's normal. You hit traffic and then you come home. There's really not that much traffic because you're coming home at like 8-ish. Anyway, for me, I can't really talk about day shift. But then again, I work both. I work both day shift. Disclaimer: I should have said this at the beginning of the video. I work both day shift and I work night shift. So this when I'm making my little comparisons, it's because I have like insight as to both. Not to mention, when you're on night shift, you do day shift orientation for about a month and a half or something like that. I don't know. My orientation was supposed, I think it was supposed to be like 8 weeks, 6 or 8 weeks, but I finished orientation in like 5 weeks. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. I just didn't want to be on orientation anymore. It was, yeah, no. I should have stayed on orientation. Okay, that's another thing. I'll talk about that too, like prolonging your orientation so that, because when you're on your own, bruh. Ain't nobody there to save you. But traffic is a big thing for me because I live in Long Island. If you're from New York, you know where Long Island is, you know, for the most part. I live in Long Island and I work in Queens. And for me, that's like you're on your way to the city basically. So I hit city traffic. When I'm going to work at 7 p.m., I'm hitting rush hour traffic for everybody who's getting off their 9 to 5 and leaving and coming off of, who's like getting off of work or whatever, or 9 to 6 or whatever the case is, or 10 to 6, however people's jobs work. I just know every time I go to work on a weekday, I hit traffic around 6 o'clock, like 5:30, 5:45, 6 o'clock, 6:15 when I'm getting ready to get into work. It's traffic, and I don't like that. Then when I'm coming home from work, I'm hitting AM traffic. Like I'm getting stopped behind all these damn school buses, you know, all these kids trying to get to school, because I'm getting off at like 7:30, so I'm not really leaving the building until like 7:45. And for all those kids who got to be at school for like 8 o'clock, 8:15, I'm like passing by the schools and like all these, like, and it's just annoying, and I don't like that. And then it delays me when I'm getting home and getting to sleep and having to do this the next day, which is why, again, I say like that whole recuperation day thing, that day where you're really off but you're not really off because you're spending it sleeping, I don't like having to do that. So I plan everything back to back to back. People are like, oh, Ashley, how are you working 5 days straight? Ashley, how are you working 3 days straight? Ashley, how are you working 4 days straight? Bruh, it's okay, I'll work it. I'll work these, because think about it, you have 7 days in the week, right? If of these 7 days, you work your 2 days, you're off that 1 day, right? That 1 day is spent recuperating. Then you're working that 4th day. Okay, fine. Then that 5th day is spent recuperating, right? Now you only have 2 days left. And chances are it's not always going to be a weekend. So it's not always going to be like popping, and you're not always going to have plans. So it's like, 2 days off, great, blah. If it is a weekend, you still can't do what you need to do, because most businesses are, again, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. If it is a weekend, if it is a weekday, then, you know, you might want to do it, you might not. You might just want to kick back and catch up on your shows or watch your Hulu, your DVR, your Netflix, your Fire Stick, whatever it is device you have going on, you might want to do that. Otherwise, yeah. So me, same 7 days, I work 3 days straight in a row, 1 day recuperating. Boom, 3 days to myself, right? Or I work 4 days straight in a row, including my OT, 1 day off. Okay, my 2 days recuperating. You know, I just don't like the on, off, whatever. That was the moral of the story. I probably dragged it out, and I apologize for that, but oh well. Okay, the last thing I could really think about. Alright, the last thing I could probably think about is food choices. I don't even know why this is the last one. I should have thought about this first because it's the one that affected me the most. But I'll make a whole new video about that because I don't want this video to be long, and it looks like it's already 20 minutes, and that's way too long for me. I want my videos to be like 15 minutes less because people got stuff to do. Anyway, the last nursing struggle that I can think of would be food choices. And food choices is such a major struggle because if you're like me, you don't have time to meal prep. Not gonna lie, you make time for what's important to you. So granted, I did it. I tried it for a solid 3 weeks, and I could not keep up with it. I was meal prepping, and I was doing the whole healthy food options and all that good stuff. I had some diet changes. Even now, like, I still have the diet changes. It's just I just don't eat at night anymore. That's my logic. But or I don't eat I don't eat full meals anyway, I should say. But food options, because you work the night shift from 7 to 7. Okay, 7 o'clock it starts. 7 to 7:30, you're getting your report. It's change of shift. From 7:30 to about 8:30, you know, you're reviewing your orders and you're reading charts. You're doing like your chart reviews. Then from like 8:30 to 9, you're, you know, I mean, of course you're checking on your patients and all that stuff, but you're catching up on whatever needs to be done that day shift probably forgot to do or endorsed to you to do. Fine, boom. 9 to 11, you're giving out your meds and you're doing your documentation. All right, after you do that, that's usually when people take breaks. I don't know about other people. I know some people who, as soon as they get to work, it's like they spend an hour on the floor and then they're taking breaks. Cool, I can't do that because you get your break and then you have like a whole another 11 hours to go. So I usually take my break around midnight, somewhere around midnight, and then again at like 4 a.m. Fortunately, my job, I think most places do it, but I can't speak for all hospitals. My facility, you get your hour break, which is your meal break, and then you get your half-hour break, which is your, I just need to sit and BS break. So I take my first 30-minute BS break at 12 o'clock. At that time, everything is closed. Everything is closed. Like, again, I work at an inner city hospital, so corner stores are closed, Chinese food places are closed, like, you know, everything is closed. Like all your healthy options, first of all, they close at like 9 o'clock. You know, so what's left? You got your Domino's, you got your pizza places, and you got fast food. And I don't eat fast food at all. When I say fast food, I mean like drive-through fast food. If it has a drive-through, chances are I'm not eating there at all. I do eat pizza. Like, who doesn't eat takeout pizza? Like, I don't know. If you don't, cool, but that's not me. I eat pizza. So a lot of times I was eating pizza like a lot. I was eating pizza, I was eating their little salads, their pastas, their little wraps and bowls and breads and all these flatbreads, all those things. I was eating that heavy for like a good month, and that's how I gained that 15 pounds. But I'll go, like I said, I'll do a whole video on that because that's a whole story in itself. But food options are limited at night. That's the moral of the story. So if you think you're gonna come to work and you're gonna get to eat and get to maintain your little diet and your happy lifestyle and all that stuff, it's not gonna happen for you. And that was a rude awakening for me because I was used to being small most of my life. I mean, I'm still small now, but I was used to being smaller, but I'm happy with myself now, so that's good. Anyway, besides food and food options and meal prepping and all that stuff, yeah, like I don't eat. Like I usually don't eat at night. I eat fruits at night and I drink a shit ton of water. And I'm sorry for cursing. I've even said it like when I made the YouTube that I didn't want to be that person that curses on camera, but sometimes you just gotta slip one in there. One time for the one time. Anyway, like I said, yeah, I did it for the differential. I'm still satisfied with why I did it. I'm still in it. I'm still a night shift nurse, so obviously it didn't hurt me that bad. but it's a struggle, and not everybody should do it. Like a lot of people like, oh yeah, you're new grad, yeah, go be a night shift nurse. You get to learn, you get to think on your feet, you get to be you get to build those critical thinking skills. It's a lot slower, so that when you transition into day shift, you'll know what you're doing. That's a lie. Night shift is for people who already know what they're doing, so that with all that less support, you can respond the way you need to respond, and that's that. Yeah, be a night shift nurse, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to think. That's it. I think this is gonna be the end of the video, because we 25 minutes in, and I'm not about to sit here and hit 30 minutes. So yeah, that's that. Welcome back. Go watch this video. Obviously you're watching, if you made it to the end, you watch this video, but go watch my last video if you haven't already. I'm gonna be making new videos. Yeah, it's nighttime right now, if you didn't realize, hence why I'm in a robe, hence why it's quieter, or more quiet, I guess you could say, than my last video. So yeah, thanks again for watching. Like, subscribe, comment on what you think I missed in this video, because I'm sure I missed some things. If you're a night shift nurse, I want to hear from you. I want to hear your tips and tricks and what you do to stay up during your shift. I'll probably do a video of that next, like what I do to stay up, and my tips and tricks and strategies to make it through the shift, and how I allocate my time throughout my shift. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on IG at, again, _MISS ambitious. So _MISS miss _ambitious. And it's ambitious to spell the normal way, because we like to be phonetically correct. Again, thank you for watching, and I hope you subscribe. Ashley, Art, and Takeover. Peace. Okay.